Hey guys, so I'm installing the FSWERKS short shift kit. It says it's for the Focus ST, but it works on the Focus STs plus the new RS. At least hopefully that's what I'm going to find out today. So by the end of this video you guys should know if it works. I went with this kit mostly because it's a bolt-on. You don't have to actually take the shifter linkage there. You just basically bolt this on. And then just pop the shifter cup off, and then you have access to that. Great thing is they provide excellent instructions for how to do everything. So far I've just removed the engine cover. That I believe there's just 3 or 4 points. You just pop it up straight off. There's a little piece here, you kind of just pull this back. That'll allow you to lift the airbox out. And then you just want to disconnect the hose clamps here, just loosen them up so you can slide that back. And then there's basically just a couple grommets, just like the engine cover, holding the airbox in, and then you just basically lift that straight up. I unfortunately already pulled the other part of the top part of the airbox because I basically went the wrong way, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. I should still be able to get this out, and if not, I can just throw another piece on and then pull it out all together at once. So you can actually feel, there's one in the back right and one in the top left here. And then you just want to make sure that these hoses up here are not getting bound by anything. There's a little tab, you got a little rubber tab you want to pull that off of. And then you slowly start to ease this guy up. There's one more grommet in the front there. There we go. So, looks like, let's see. Alright, well, let's put that to the side for now. So there's 3 grommets. There's one in the top right here. Felt like there was one on the left, but maybe not. There's definitely one right here. I'll just show you guys that. This is what it's going to look like. You can see the grommet here, and then one here as well. And then this is the shifter ball. So basically we're just going to pop this guy up. Basically just use a flathead or a prying tool if you have that. And then once you pop that up, I'll show you guys the install for the new short shifter. Alright, so we're just going to pop this up here. There we go. That pops loose there. So just set this down here. Don't want anything falling. So the big thing with this kit, you want to make sure to use the Loctite that's supplied. This is something that you do not want coming loose, so make sure you're using that. So here's the piece right here. Basically that's going to go on right like that, so you can actually see that the ball actually, the original ball just goes straight through here, and then this piece, these are the 3 locations where you can do 20%, 30%, or 40%. So I haven't decided what percent I'm going to go with yet, but that's just pretty much how that goes in. Make sure you do not drop this bottom piece, because if you drop it down there, it's going to be really hard to get to, and that's going to suck, so you don't want to do that. But yeah, so time to move on to the next step. Okay, so the kit specifically says to use an Allen key if you don't have a really small torque wrench, because they're only supposed to be about 48 inch-pounds of force, so really not that much. Don't want to over torque them. But basically, all you want to do is basically sit this underneath the shifter, then put the top plate on, and then start to screw these in. I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on the edges here, and then on the screw as well, just a little bit. That way I don't have to worry about too much, that I'm not going to have any Loctite anywhere. So just a little bit. You don't need too much, but just enough to make sure that this is not going to fall off. I'll show you guys what that looks like in a second. So this is the actual brand Loctite that they give you in the kit, and then it just looks like this basically. So it's got this little cap on it. So it looks like you just break the cap off, and then you can use the cap also to to puncture it if you need, because there's a little poker in there. It's hard for you to see, but that way you can poke it if you didn't get it completely. So then, just going to apply just a little bit. To each of the threads here. The reason I'm doing it to the threads is it's a lot easier to just do it to the threads here and then just get the first bolt in and not have to worry too much about that bolt being covered in Loctite. But I will just kind of coat the bolt here a little bit. So they do give you a fair bit, but so there, that should be more than enough. So basically the next steps, I know I'm going to be doing this bolt here first, so we can just drop that in, that way it's ready to go. And then make sure you have your Allen screw or your Allen wrench ready. And basically what you're going to want to do is get your hand down there, get this lined up. Be very careful not to drop this, obviously. And once you get that lined up, place this one on top, get that in line, and then slowly start to use your Allen wrench here and start tightening that one down. Do not drop your Allen key. That would be very unfortunate. You also take your time with this, because even though you want to really get it to grab, you don't want to strip that. That would also be very unfortunate. So you should feel a little bit of resistance, but shouldn't be significant. Alright, so that one's in. It's sturdy. Just going to grab the other two. Just again, apply a little bit of Loctite to the threads here. Just going to do this off camera, so I'm not doing it over the car. Just don't want to drop any on there. If you do a little bit too much, just take another one, and then you can just roll it around, and then you have both of them Loctited. Sorry if that wasn't in focus. So you drop the next one in. Start hand tightening it until you find the threads. You have to shift the bottom plate around a little bit until you can feel it grab. Oh, doing it in the wrong hole there. And don't try to put it in your where the ball is going to end up going, so that is not the right place. And then just remember, take your time with this. You do not want to drop something in the engine bay of your RS, because that is not going to be fun. And once you start to get them close to being snug, take your time. You want to get them all fairly even before you start to tighten them up. So no rush here. You've already made it this far, so save yourself a lot more time by just taking your time and doing it right the first time. Alright, that's starting to get snugged up. Let's get this other one, make sure it's snugged up. Alright, that's starting to get snugged up. Now I'm doing it with the top of the Allen key, which gives me a little bit less torque. And that's just helping me make sure that I'm not going to over torque these bolts. So I don't want to strip anything. And they said only 48 inch-pounds, which is practically nothing. So just keep going around triangle. You can mix up the direction, go back to other ones. But you just want to make sure they're nice and even. Then I'm going to go through horizontally just to give them a little bit of a tap at the end of it here, just to make sure that they're not going anywhere and that they all feel pretty similar. And then you just want to make sure it's not going to move up or down, so it's actually pretty sturdy on there. So you guys can see what it looks like right now. It doesn't appear to be moving anywhere. The only play is just in the shifter itself. Just give these a little bit more. And I'm barely applying any force here, just very lightly, trying to make sure that everything's nice and even. So those are good. So then the next step here is we have the actual ball. So basically we're going to, again, want to Loctite the bottom piece, pick which slot we're going with. Haven't decided for myself yet. I'm probably going to end up going with the 30% or the 40%. I'm used to a 2006 Accurate TL with the 6-speed manual. And that, shockingly enough, had significantly shorter throws than this car. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the short throw shifter here works and how close I can get it to that shifter feel, because I truly think that that's one of the best shifters in any car that I've experienced. Alright, so we're just going to go with 30% shorter and just see how we like it. Again, just be really careful. You do not want to drop this. You should be able to just put it on hand tight until you get it pretty close to the bottom. And then you can take a wrench. Alright, so it's a 7/16. So just tighten it down. You don't have to go too tight because it is Loctited. And then you can basically just pull that shifter linkage back, pop that on. You should be able to give it a good tug and it shouldn't be going anywhere. And then you should be good to go. Alright, so a side note. When you're putting that on, it'd be helpful to have somebody in the car actually working the shifter to make sure it didn't get stuck. I got it stuck just because I was playing around with cables, so I wasn't really in neutral side to side, and it got jammed in location. Just had to pop it loose. It wasn't a big deal, but time to show you guys the shifter action here. Let me darken this down. But this is the shifter now. It's extremely short. I'm extremely happy. Before, if I was shifting from second to third, I would sometimes ram my thumb into the buttons here. So now, because with the TL shifter, I sometimes just left my thumb out. I have about an inch gaps there. So I mean, even when I'm shifting fast and I really shove it back there, I still have plenty of room. So I'm really happy. I'm probably just going to leave it at 30 because this feels so good. It does feel like there's a little bit more weight to it. That's to be expected. Basically, next step from now, just show you that again. Everything feels really great. I'm really happy with that. Tighten everything down. Already Loctited everything. Put the front back together there, and I'll show you guys that. Alright, so first things first, just getting this Airbox back in there. So again, make sure this piece is facing upward, and then you want to slowly kind of work it down. It helps to bring this tube up and connect it before you start pushing it downward. Just pull it back up a little bit, rearrange it, there you go. That's much better. Yeah, so you'll find a point where it's going to want to just nicely slide down and in. So I just felt it pop in there. And it popped in there as well. Again, don't know if you guys can see this. So there's a little rubber tab right here. You're just going to pull that off. This piece just goes over that same tab. You just pull it over. That's on. Plug that sensor back in. Grab these guys. Make sure this is up nice and tight against it. This one, you really didn't even have to loosen this one. I did just because Not a big deal, easy to tighten back. Last piece is our engine cover, which I really do need to clean. Alright, so that pops in there, that pops there, another down here. 1, 2, 3, I believe. And that's good to go. And there you go. We have our shifter installed. So thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos on this car, I'll be making them hopefully soon once I get a nice camera mount. Like and subscribe if you want to see those videos. Thanks for watching.